This program is brought to you by the Media Liberty Alliance Foundation in cooperation with OBBM Network TV, bringing citizen-led, creative local media to the forefront of local communities to foster a greater understanding of constitutional liberty and appreciation of what makes us truly free, starting with you and me.
The Zach Rateliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Exceed Health Clinic on Mull Drive in Texarkana, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org.
We need courage to stand against wrong. That's what girl swimmers from Roanoke College did when the school allowed a male swimmer on the girls' team. They filed suit and won. The Attorney General said the college's action caused the women emotional, physical, and dignitary harms. They could have gone along just to get along, but they didn't. May we stand against injustice when wrong is being done. I'm Pastor John Miller. Visit me at churchontherock.org.
Hello and welcome to the Zach Rateliff Show. I'm Zach. This is Fuzzy Harmon. What's going on, Fuzzy? How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for coming in today. A little last minute, but I appreciate you working with me on it. And we got some stuff to talk about. Before we do, bringing on new listeners all the time, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, kind of who you are, where you're from, what you know, I guess.
I'm from Harrison County, which is Marshall, is the county seat.
Okay.
And I'm one of the precinct chairs down there for the Republican Party.
Okay.
And I've been involved in politics for about 35 or 40 years.
Okay.
And
Razorback fan?
Razorback fan. Used to live in North Little Rock.
There we go.
And then I moved to Marshall when I was a child.
Okay.
And I graduated in Marshall.
Okay.
I graduated in 76. I'm about to have a birthday. I'll be 69 in about 3 weeks.
Okay, well, happy early birthday there.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've never been this old before.
Well, that's every day.
Yes, sir.
That is the goal, is to just get older.
Well, I've got about 145 classmates that didn't make it this far.
You know, we lost, not to go down that rabbit hole, but we lost close to 20 in high school. And then, of course, it goes up every year.
Whatever, probably drinking and driving, probably.
Well, actually, one or two of them, but most of them was just weird circumstances. And anyway, I don't have to, but yeah. But funny you say that. When I started ninth grade, my dad called me that morning. He said, "Hey, take an inventory of everybody you know. They won't all be there in 4 years. Make sure you're not one of them."
That's right.
I said,
we're losing one about every 4 months.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. So I go to a lot of funerals.
Well, just gotta hope they know Jesus.
I hope so too.
That's the key, and that's one thing everybody asks me. Well, what's your show about, Zach? I always say politics and Jesus, and that's Jesus is the important part of that.
That's good.
Well, all right, we're going to talk about this data centers around here and all these issues and all this.
Well, on the data centers, I would prefer they be in outer space.
You said that earlier when I was talking to you, and I thought, why couldn't they?
Let me tell you what they look for, in my opinion. Okay. I'm a real estate broker.
Okay.
And I make most of my money. I'm an oil and gas landman. Okay. I think they're looking for a quite level piece of property that's hard ground. They're not looking for mushy ground. Okay. They're looking for something with no well sites on it and no graveyards, no pipelines. And the reason they're looking for level, it's all got a little roll to it.
Right.
But they're looking for the least amount of dirt work.
Right.
Okay. So they're not going to go out here and tackle something where the elevation changes 75 foot or 150 foot. Because if they're going to buy an 800-acre tract, they're going to build about a 700-acre building on it.
Man, that's a big building.
I know. And the foolish thing about it is the people with the school board and the city and the county, or whatever political jurisdiction in it, they seem to want to get with the powers to be, the power structure of the town or the local area, and they want to bend over backwards and give them a tax abatement for 10 years.
Right.
And want to welcome them with open arms. Well, how about just taxing the hell out of them and leave the rest of us alone? Okay, instead of giving them a free ride, and we're not getting a free ride.
Here's what I think is interesting about that, to that point. You know, the one, they bought some land out here, 600 and some odd acres.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, not a truck ride, not a far truck ride away. And I know for a fact that maybe not know for a fact, but man, there's a flood zone real close. They might not be in it, but boy, it borders it. I mean, that's kind of what
it might border it, but probably because it's near it. The ground they're actually going to be using is probably level.
Okay,
and that's what they're looking for.
Right.
Okay, so they're not looking for something that the elevation changes much on, something that's choppy.
Good flat land.
They're looking for good flat land that's hard, and no pipelines, no graveyards, no well pads in the way, nothing in the way. Now they can tear down a house that's in the way or a barn.
Right, yeah, that's easy.
Okay, and they can beat people over the sack of head of money till they can't say no. You know, till they can't say no. Because, you know, when somebody knocks on your door, says, I want to buy this place. Okay.
We've all got a price.
Everybody's got a price. And so when they say, well, we'll give you $20 million. We want this place. Well, you start thinking, well, I can take the $20 million and go buy another place for $750,000.
Find a good looking place.
And a good looking place at that, and be happy and put the rest of it in my money, in my pocket. And pay a little tax to Uncle Sam.
I don't know about a little. He's going to get us everywhere he can, but that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show.
Uncle Sam's coming out with 60% of that, no matter what you do on that deal.
But that's what they do. Okay. And,
I mean, look, if they do that to me, here you go.
Yeah.
Where do I sign?
Yeah. Well, that's what most people do. Yeah. And so it takes somebody pretty stern that says, no.
Right.
It ain't for sale. Get off my property.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, it really would be a tough conversation, just depending on which piece of property it was that I was sitting on, I'd imagine, and how much tie to it I had.
But you can go down the road and buy you another piece somewhere. It might be 30 miles down the road.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's more hilly.
Yeah.
But see, they're looking for something that's real level. That's what I think.
Okay.
I don't know that, but that's what I think.
That's what you're saying.
I've seen one right on the state line with Louisiana. So I was driving in Texas looking at it in Louisiana. We're state line road.
Okay.
Between Harrison and
I'm about to say down there around Wascom.
Yeah, right north of Wascom.
Uh-huh.
And it's between Harrison and Caddo Parish.
Okay.
And the thing is on about 800 acres in Caddo Parish.
What I don't
kind of close to Caddo.
Okay. Well, so one of the downfalls, and look, I'm a private property, so this is where I get on this. I'm all for private property. If you want to sell your land to these guys, I think you ought to be allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, you know, with my brethren that are anti-data center, I'm not pro-data center. I'm not anti-data center.
I'm very anti-data center.
And you're allowed to be. I think that's fair. But I don't think we should be able to say you can't sell it to them. They just should have to follow whatever rules we set for them, is what I think. Now,
what you've got a fine line if you give a county commissioner's court in Texas the power to control property. Okay,
that's my worry.
If they took that and went too far with it, okay, and got where before you could cut your timber and replant, or before you could build a new fence, and you're up there asking for a permit to build a fence or build a barn,
right?
Okay, and then you've got a county commissioner and you didn't support him last time, and he says something to you out in the hall. He says, "Look, boy, you're not getting a thing today until you learn how to get on board the program."
Right.
And you supported my opponent last time. I had an opponent. I know whose sign was in front of whose house, and you're not getting anything today until you learn how the program works.
Okay, so you see my worry.
Okay, you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that is my ultimate worry of why I'm like, well, I don't want you to tell me what I can do with my land.
And I have some county commissioners I like, and I have some I don't like.
Right.
Okay, and the ones I don't like, they don't like me. Okay.
Tends to happen.
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like the bull and the pastor,
Right.
Zach, that kicks dirt up over his shoulder.
Right.
And raises some hell.
Well,
am I allowed to say that on the program?
Yeah.
Well, don't let me say something too bad.
No, I'll mark it and take it out if it gets too bad.
I won't let it get too bad.
No, well, everybody needs. It's always good to have somebody that'll raise a little cane every now and then. I mean that.
Well, I've been doing it a long time, my friend.
Yeah, well, that's what's needed.
I know you don't know me, but
we're becoming fast friends because I like what you're saying.
My reputation stays about 100 yards out in front of me.
Well, that's a good problem to have. Well, so then let's say one of the worries about these data centers is the water.
Okay, and now so let me tell you about what a groundwater district can do.
Because that's where I wanted to go, because I want to know, because that's what we've heard proposed. Okay, we'll just form a groundwater district, and then we'll have control over it. So what?
Well,
you being a landman,
let me tell you. Okay,
and could you give us the definition? You being a real estate broker in Texas, I don't. Most people won't understand the difference in surface water and groundwater.
Okay, let me define that for you.
Yeah, please.
Okay. If you're talking about water that comes up to the surface through a spring, as it came up to the surface, it's groundwater. And once it breaks out through the surface and gets into the creek, into the branch, it becomes surface water.
Now, like an artesian well.
Like an artesian well or a spring.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Okay, something where the Indians had to get water at.
Right.
And right there where the spring is where you go look for the arrowheads on high ground.
Right.
But within about 40 yards of the spring.
We were squirrel hunting over in Arkansas, in National Forest, Arkansas, year or two ago, and came upon an artesian well. We stopped and looked real hard because that's what Dad said. He's like, man, that'd be good. If one's going to be here, be right here.
That's right. But they didn't have a water well drilling rig, so
right.
They had to live where the water was.
Right.
And the squaw didn't want to walk any further than she had to with the water.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Like 30 or 40 yards.
Uh-huh.
So they lived close to the water.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, so you got your artesian well or your spring. That's going to be your.
But your well, the water underneath the ground is the groundwater.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the water in the river or in the creek or in the lake is surface water. Pond. Okay. Now let me tell you about a pond.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Somebody could have a 25-acre pond that's not too deep, and you're not underneath the rules of the TCEQ.
Right.
It used to be TNRCC. Okay. And that's the environmental quality thing, because the impoundment does not hold over 200 acre foot.
Oh, is that where it changes?
Point.
200 acre foot of water.
200 acre foot of water impoundment. Okay. So if you get a 40 acre lake,
now
you got you 1,000 acre place, and it's a show dog place,
right?
And you got you a 40 acre lake,
right.
You're probably up there with any depth at all,
right,
into the 200 acre foot or north of that.
So now you're under,
and you're underneath their control.
Okay, that's good to know, just in general.
But until you break over the 200 acre foot, because see the lake, unless it's just dug straight down, it gets shallower.
Yeah, you got 6 inches, and
it gets smaller as it goes to the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm making a V for the audience.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so every time you descend a foot, you got a smaller lake.
Right.
Than you did at the surface.
You got a smaller pool. Yeah.
You got a smaller pool. Okay.
Okay. So we got that. So then we got the 200 acre foot. So we're still under the groundwater or the surface water.
The groundwater comes. Just say we're strictly talking about what comes out of a water well.
Okay, so that's groundwater.
That's groundwater.
And so these water districts, these groundwater districts,
they're groundwater districts.
what did you say? There's 98 of them in Texas.
I believe there's 98 of them in Texas.
Okay. What do they do? How can they help against a data center? What I don't understand what
the only thing they could do a little bit is limit their water. They cannot cut them off from the water. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now they can drill more than one well. Okay. And when they have this 800 acres that me and you talked about a while ago, okay, and they're going to build a 700-acre building,
right?
Then they could go around the part where the building's not, and drill more than one well. Now they may have a spacing between wells,
right?
Okay, and they can only be like 1,200 foot apart.
800 acres, though, you can
800 acres. You know,
it ain't hard to find 1,200 feet in 800 acres.
That's right. Okay, and so you can move around and drill more than one well, and then turn them all on and pumping a couple hundred gallons a minute out of each one of them. And after a while, you got a considerable amount of water coming out of them, and they're still legal.
And it's probably more, I mean, the same aquifer.
It's not prohibited.
Okay.
And say they've got a rule in there that they can't treat anybody indiscriminately, which doesn't give them the ability to say no to one party and somebody else can say yes to another party.
Right.
Okay. And so they have to be equal, and they can't lower anybody at a lower pumping rate than what's already permitted for somebody else that's got a little bit more legitimate use, where you've got a commercial water supply company that's supplying people within 25 miles of the source well.
Let me ask you
and they've got a tank on top of the hill somewhere.
Okay. Let me ask you this. I sold a property a few years ago up on Red River.
Okay.
900-acre farm.
Okay.
And, on that guy, on his, for him to put in his irrigation system, they were
pumping out of the river?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
okay, you have to get a permit.
So, they were counting that permit by a gallon that he brought out of there, is my understanding.
Yeah,
is that correct?
He has, that's surface water.
Uh-huh.
Remember, we're not talking about surface water.
But that same tool...
You've gotten off track and going into surface water.
No, yeah, but that same tool, if they could track that eventually, if they were going to be in a groundwater district, could they come onto my property and track my well, what I'm doing?
The 36-123 is the right of entry, and we're talking about the water code in the state of Texas. We are in Texas. We're close to Arkansas.
Right, but we're still here.
But we're still in Texas.
That's right.
So it's Chapter 36 of the water code is where everything in the groundwater is. And 36-123 gives them the absolute right of entry. So the groundwater district and their employees and whoever they tote along with them have more authority to come on your property than the sheriff deputy does and the game warden. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Because it's their job to check for compliance.
And we all know how much authority Green Pants has.
And to check for, the water meters they're going to put on your water. And you have to pay for the water meter. Okay. So if the water meter costs $600 and it's a 1-inch diameter meter on a 1-inch line coming out of the well, okay, and $600, you pay for it.
You paying to monitor yourself.
The two fair, and if it's at a business, and even though it's under 17.3611 gallons per minute open flow, and you've got an exempt well, if it's at a business, you have to have a meter on it in most of these groundwater districts. That's what their rules are. And their rules are online, and I can quote you the address on the internet for a couple of them's rules. And the one at Lufkin and Nacogdoches is 42 pages.
Of rules?
The rules.
That you can do on your own place?
Yes. And you got to be real smart not to violate the rules, because, see, the fine is up to $10,000 per day.
Per day.
Per day, and each day is a separate offense. Okay.
So they can break a farmer real quick, or anybody else. They can break anybody.
It costs you to file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I told you earlier, maybe when we started, that they got a friend of mine in Panola for $37,000 for being late on a report.
So not only...
So it's just a paperwork thing. So he wasn't really doing anything on the ground that was harmful. It was not filing his paperwork on time.
So not only can they come onto our property under one of these groundwater districts, they can then penalize you. They can then bankrupt you. But that doesn't have anything to do, in my mind, with actually stopping a data center.
They're not.
So I feel like we're being sold a bill of goods here. Oh, we can help you with this.
You're financing and supporting through probably property tax. And the people that's pushing this thing have said that they can support it with fees. And I can going to explain to you when you're ready for me to explain to you that they can't support it with fees.
Well, because here, I'll let you explain it, but let me make sure I'm understanding. So one of these districts, they're going to need a staff, they all say.
They got to have a building.
Yeah.
They got to have a fleet of trucks.
Because the government never doesn't grow.
That's right. And they got to have them a fleet of trucks. And so I would expect 6, 7 employees. I don't think they can run one without 5, with at least 5. And so you got to have a secretary, and she does all the work. She really needs some money.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? She should be the most disrespected person there.
Right.
And you got to have the general manager, you know.
He's riding around in the truck.
And he's one making the big bucks.
Yeah.
And then you got your field hands.
Right.
That's actually doing the work on the ground.
He probably needs a four-wheeler so he can get from the truck to the well on some of these big spots.
Could, but he may want a 4-wheel drive truck that's a cab.
That's true, too.
You know, with the winch on the front. I don't know. But
however they can spend our money.
Somebody's got to pay for that.
Yeah.
You think Santa Claus is going to pay for it, or the Easter Bunny, or the Tooth Fairy?
Right.
No, somebody's got to pay for that.
Okay. All right. So how do they pay for it?
Well, the people supporting it, and most of the people supporting it are politicians.
Imagine that.
And I'm not too favorable to politicians.
Well, they're always big on what they can do with my money. I just left my accountant's office earlier today, so I've really got taxes on the mind. So they were always real big on, you know, these taxes are real big on what they can do with what I have. You know,
yes, sir.
So I'm not a big fan of that.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of my accountant because they keep me from paying so much.
I'll tell you this. I talked to a guy that's a friend of mine. He's one of my precinct chairs in Harrison, and he runs the Harleton water supply company. And they've got about 1,700 meters on their system. And so they supply people for about 20 miles.
Okay.
You know, from their source well.
Right.
And they've got 3 wells that do 300 gallons a minute, and they're not at the tank that's up on top of the hill. They're set in a big creek bottom up out of the floodplain.
Okay.
And they particularly tested the ground to make sure it would make 150, 200 gallons a minute.
Right.
And they found the right spot, and they've got 3 wells that do 300 gallons a minute each.
So 900 gallons a minute right there.
900 gallons a minute. So they can refill their tank real quick if they have to turn on all 3 of them.
Right.
So they've got like a 8-inch line buried in the ground beside the road going to the tank up on the hill. Okay, from the well. Okay, and so I don't know if they got a 10-inch well or a 12-inch well, but probably got a 20 horsepower pump in it. Okay, and that's what they keep that tank full at. Okay,
and then that's your pressure coming down out of it.
Well, the pressure comes down because it's up elevated, and it's already sitting on a big hill.
Right.
And I drive by it when I go to church.
Okay.
Okay. And I believe in going to church.
Hey,
and
you're on the right show.
I need a lot of church.
We all do.
Keep me on the straight and narrow.
We all do.
Okay. And so I drive by it going to church.
Right.
I didn't mean to hit that.
No, that's fine.
Okay. And so it's sitting on a big hill, and it's probably 150 foot up in the air on top of a big hill.
Okay.
But the well ain't underneath it. The well's 5 miles away down the creek.
So they're pumping water 5 miles
to get it up there.
And then
it's going out 25 miles, probably mostly in 6-inch pipe. Yeah. So it's going down every road with people with meters, you know.
And so then whatever you're pulling out of that 6-inch pipe runs through your meter, and then that's how they need to charge you.
Then it goes into your house like with the 3/4 inch line, and it goes through a meter, and they know how much you're using. And he says that they got something technology now where they only have to drive by in the pickup, and the meter's electronic, and it tells the guy in the truck.
Well, that's what the water company does here in the city.
And so he only had to get it out and open the lid.
No, they just shoot it with that gun.
Might be a spider or a copperhead in there.
A little dirty.
Yeah, or some bees or wasps.
Yeah.
Let me call.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where your fees are going to come from, is having those meters.
Well, let me tell you how little it is. Okay. Let me go over where the fees are. I don't want to misquote anything.
No, that's fine.
And I don't want anybody to take my word. I want them to go look.
Right.
The fees are set out in the in-district fees.
Excuse me.
Chapter 36-205C.
Okay.
Subsection C.
All right.
And remember, everybody, this is in the Texas Water Code. This is not the property code. This is the water code.
And for those of you listening on, Spotify,
they need to know I'm not an attorney.
Yeah, that's probably good. But for those of you listening on Spotify or Apple, there's a transcript that prints of this. So if you want to go see these actual codes, anytime he says it, the number will be where you can go look that number up. So,
okay. But in 36205C, on wells that produce more than 25,000 gallons a day, which is 17.3611 gallons per minute.
Okay. So not the 900 that's coming out of that one that you're talking about.
Well, that's the north of that. See, it's when it's above 17, it's commercial. Okay.
What's a standard house runoff of?
10, 15 gallons a minute.
So, I mean, you're just right on the edge.
You're below it. You're below it. I think I'm living on a 10 gallon a minute well.
Okay.
My half horsepower pump,
which is what most of them are.
Okay, is doing 10 gallons a minute, and I've got a real high water table, so I'm not having to lift it very far.
Okay.
And so I've got like a 2-inch pipe coming up to my house, and right when it comes to the house, it comes in a 1 inch.
Okay. All right. I just wanted everybody to understand what these numbers mean.
But I'm living on a 10 gallon a minute well, and so I wouldn't have to pay for my water.
Right.
Okay.
But I mean, not much more than that.
But if they charge me a fine.
Well, how could they find you if your well isn't right?
Maybe I got into it with the guy that runs the Groundwater District.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, don't come on my place. I'm deer hunting.
Yeah.
And we're trying to kill the big buck with the big rack. And they said, we're coming on your place opening morning.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
We're operating under Chapter 36-123. We're coming on your place opening morning.
That's what they do.
And we're riding around all over your place.
About daylight.
Saturday morning. We'll be out there at your place to harass you.
Well, it just aggravates me sitting here thinking about it.
And I can't keep him out. And I said, well, I might be taking target practice that day.
Just might have old 2x6 with some 3-inch screws running through hitting out there.
A little pissing match here.
Yeah.
I hope that ain't too bad to say.
No, you all right.
Okay. So anyway, one thing can lead to another.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me tell you about the fees. Okay. On ag use, say we got people with a chicken house.
Yeah. Let's use
and they have 10 chicken houses. Okay. I talked to a guy in the chicken house business. Said they use about 10,000 gallons a day per chicken house.
So 100,000 gallons a day if you have 10 houses.
Yeah. And so, but they have to have that because they got to cool the chicken house when it's hot like it is.
They're doing that by watering the top, right?
And then they water the chickens. So the chickens are drinking water.
Yeah.
After they used it to cool it. So the part of it is the 68 degrees that's coming up keeps the building cool.
Right.
And then after they got the coolness off the water, then the chickens drank the water.
Right.
And then they peed the water out.
Yeah.
And it went back into the ground. They really don't have much net loss.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you got to have it.
Yeah.
So these people have wells that are due about 40 or 50 gallons a minute, and they have about 5. So a man with a bunch of chicken houses or a family with a bunch of chicken houses might have 5 wells at 50 gallons a minute.
Right.
And they've got one that's a primary and the other ones are backup because they can't get caught with their britches down.
Just in case.
They got to have the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, they would have to pay $1 an acre foot. Okay. Now, then you ask me, or I want you to ask me, how many gallons is in an acre foot?
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Okay. 325, 851.
325, 851.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Now, that is 1 acre, 1 foot deep of water. That is an acre foot. Okay. Now, do you know dimensions on an acre if it's square?
I should.
Well, I do. 208.71.
Yeah.
208.71 foot square. Do you know how many square feet's in an acre? 43,560.
43,000. Okay.
I use that figure all the time in my business, being a landman.
Right.
Okay.
So 43,000 square foot's an acre.
43,560 square foot is an acre. 1 foot deep is an acre foot of water.
Okay.
325,851 gallons in 1 acre foot. Okay. So the ag use on anything that's north of the 17.3611 gallons per minute over a 10-acre tract. We got a lot of qualifiers over a 10-acre tract. Right. So you don't qualify when you're operating on an 8-acre tract. Right. Okay, but over a 10-acre tract, $1 an acre foot. But it's almost nothing per 1,000 gallons. Okay, it's 0.003068 cents per 1,000 gallons.
Right, so thousandths of a penny.
Yeah, real small. Okay, now for everybody else, and here's where I'm finna defeat the deal that they can operate the groundwater district on fees.
Okay,
here you go. Okay, $10 an acre foot for anything that's commercial. $10, 10 times.
Good night.
Okay, well that still ain't much.
That's 30. What's 30 cents? 30 cents?
No, 3
cents. Okay,
3 cents. Okay, well then you got to ask, well, what does each house use? I talked to my friend at Harlton. It's the general manager over the water system there. That's got the 1,700 meters.
Yeah.
Okay. What does each house use? Well, he told me what they all used last month, why it was dry, because it has quit raining recently, and you notice it's gotten dry.
Tends to happen there.
Some people's got a burn ban right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and some people don't. Okay. But you got the process goes on year round, and so people don't use as much water when it's raining because they're not having to water their yard, or their garden,
right,
or their flowers, whatever they're doing, the water. Okay, okay. Year round, 12 months. I think that's simplified.
Right.
For the 1,700 meters, it averages 4,200 gallons a month per meter.
At 3 cents
At 3 cents. Okay, now we're talking 13 cents a house. It would add to their bill. Well, 1,700 houses out in the county with a water meter in front of their house pay $200 and something to the groundwater district. Total.
So you can't have your 5 guys and your truck and your secretary and
and even a great big area on just fees. So that's why I'm saying they got to have property taxes. So that means they're going to tax everything, your oil and gas production, everybody with a business.
Yeah.
You know, they may be on city water, and everybody with a house, something to support the groundwater district with property taxes.
And here's the rub,
plus
Fuzzy.
the fees.
Here's the rub. That's who already pays the taxes anyway.
Well, that's right.
If you've got a business, or if you've got a house, or you got oil and gas, or you're already paying the taxes.
That's right.
So, the makers continue to get taken from.
I like Republicans. I don't like Democrats.
Right.
Okay. I'm a real hardcore Republican.
Right.
Okay?
A real Republican.
I'm a real hardcore Republican.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
I'm good with that.
That's not much I'm for. Okay.
the way it should be.
Now, I am for capital punishment on the square with the firing squad.
you know, they say, you hear, well, does the death penalty stop crime? It stops one criminal.
Yeah. Well, they won't do it again.
That's exactly
And,
right.
you know, if it was swift and certain right after the trial was over, like in a week,
You know, go through, get your appeal, get what you know.
well, I'm not too much for appeal when they're caught dead, coming out of the bank with the money in one hand and the gun in the other, and somebody was killed in the bank.
Yeah.
I don't even believe in them.
Go ahead and handle it, huh?
Yeah, just go on and get it done.
Hey, there you go.
There you go. Now,
I can't argue with you.
when it's circumstantial, you know, we found a bone on a pipeline. Now we got to find out whose bone it is, or is it a deer bone or a dog bone? You know what I'm talking about? What is this bone? You know?
You know, I bet people don't realize.
That's a different story. Okay.
I bet people don't realize how much that kind of thing happens.
But when I go up there to jury service,
Uh-huh.
I say hang them high and leave them for the buzzards to pick.
You know what I like to say is, well, what about this? I say, hey, I'm going to do whatever ends this the quickest.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't.
They don't want to put me on the jury, Zach.
I bet they don't. Well, so what I'm hearing is these groundwater districts can't support themselves without property tax, which is an increase to all of us.
And they can't keep the water from being transferred out of the district boundaries. Now, we haven't got to that yet, have we?
Well, you mentioned it. So you said there's a loophole in there.
Oh, there's a loophole that you could drive two 18-wheelers through, my friend, and the mirrors wouldn't even touch each other. Okay.
Okay.
That's how bad the loophole is. Okay.
So they can't. So
everything. I'm quoting section and code numbers.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know this stuff because I defeated 4 of them.
You defeated 4 water districts already.
That's right. And the first one we got in 210, and the rest of them we got in 213.
Okay.
Okay. And at the time, they were trying to be formed by approval by the voters or disapproved and not formed.
Right.
Okay. And I want to make sure you know how bad they got beat.
Okay.
I'm real proud of my people.
Okay.
Okay. Because I taught them how to politic real well.
There you go.
Okay. And the 36122 of the code, of the water code, deals with transfers out of the district.
Mm.
Okay. And subsection C says you can't treat the exporter any different than you do the in-district producer, in-district user.
Okay.
Okay. So that means if you've got somebody approved for 400 gallons a minute, you have to approve this guy for 400 gallons a minute.
Okay.
And that means that the set out boundaries from a well, the existing well, and you can't have another well inside of a circle from that well.
Right.
Or from the set in from the property line, set in distances. Okay. Okay. You can't discriminate against the exporter any different than the importer, the inside guy.
So you can't give them favorable.
You can't discriminate. If that's spelled out in 36122C.
Okay.
Okay. The one that puts the nail in the coffin about you can't stop them from getting it gone is 36122O, subsection O.
What's it do?
It says plainly, you can have a whole bunch of rules, but you can't have one that prohibits export of groundwater outside the district boundaries.
So let's say, because that's
So
what's
that means that you can drill a well here, and if you got a pipeline to get it somewhere away from here, like Dallas or Amarillo or Midland, Odessa, where they'd like to have some of our good water.
Yeah.
Okay. It can leave, and you can't stop them.
Because I don't remember the counties that are in our proposed one. It was like 12 counties.
No, it was 19.
Was it 19? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's going west, which gets you closer to Dallas. So that pipeline doesn't have to come from Bowie County. It could come from the western edge to get to Dallas.
Well, let me tell you this. Okay. Every time you cross a property line from here, if you had a well right here where that truck parked right in front of the office, if that was a well right there, and then starting from right there and you get off this property, you got to buy right away.
Yeah.
And a private person doesn't have it in the domain.
Right.
Okay, that means you got to beat somebody over the sack of the head with money.
Yeah.
To get a right of way.
Right.
Okay. Now, the state's got eminent domain. Okay. And oil and gas companies have eminent domain to get the product to market,
right?
The oil or the gas.
They're gonna put that pipeline in.
Okay, the telephone's got eminent domain.
Right.
Telephone company to bury a telephone line.
Right.
Okay. The city's got eminent domain for a lot of things. Like they decide they're going to build a new public library somewhere, a new fire station.
It's going.
It's going somewhere.
In Arlington, they did it with the Cowboys football stadium.
Now that's real wrong because see that's a business. That's a private business. That's not the government.
But they sure used eminent domain for it.
I'll tell you where else they did it. They did it at the Hearst Mall.
Really?
Yeah. Let me tell you about that little deal.
Okay.
Okay. I know we're diverting.
That's okay.
But in
we do that all the time on this show.
In 95, about 1995, okay, the Hearst Mall wanted to expand.
Uh-huh.
And there was a subdivision there of working class people, and we're not talking about a slum.
Right.
That was
hardworking people.
Hardworking, regular people.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not saying that they were all white, and I'm not saying they were all black or they were all Mexican. I'm saying it was mixed.
Right.
A little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. But pride,
working class. Yeah.
Working class, pride and ownership.
Yeah.
Working class people's houses.
Right.
Okay. Now I don't know if the time that they were worth $100,000 or $150,000.
Right.
But they wasn't no $5,000 house.
Right. They were middle class houses.
They're middle class houses. Okay. Well, they went out there, the mall did, and they beat people over the head with a sack of money. You might notice I say that a lot.
Well, because that's what happens.
Okay. And they said, yes, I sell. Well, they had 10 holdouts.
Okay.
And they were spread out across this 120 lots. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So they wasn't all over in one wad. One
over here and one over there.
They were here and there and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You remember you had streets and laid out plan. Okay. Well, the city, Hearst, used eminent domain to take it away from these people. Okay. And these people barricaded their houses, themselves in the houses. Okay. And it's kind of a standoff.
Come on and get it, huh?
Yeah. Come and take it.
Yeah.
And some of them had cancer and were dying at the time, and they wanted to die at home.
Right.
And they were drug out of there kicking and screaming. Okay. Okay. And they end up, the city said that they could justify doing this because they were going to make more money, and it was putting it to a higher and better use by taking it away from these people and giving it to the mall rather than letting those people have their property and pay their taxes.
Yeah,
you see what I'm talking about? Higher and better use, more
more
money.
tax money is
more
what that
tax
means.
money, whether it's sales tax money or property tax money.
Yeah.
They're going to get more tax money out of the mall than they were these people. And these people had to go.
So if somebody's going to start a water district, groundwater district, they decide they're going to sell the water to Dallas, and it's going to come across from here all the way up 30, all the way across Brassico Ranch down through Sulphur Springs, all the way. Mm-hmm. And nothing you can do about it because it's for a higher and better purpose to get them some more.
But see, private people don't have an eminent domain. So it takes the government to give them eminent domain for a water line.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oil and gas has got some special privileges to get the pipeline when they come out of the unit. Because, see, every oil and gas lease inside the unit that makes the unit. So if we're dealing with a 640-acre gas unit, every oil and gas lease gives them the authority to get the pipeline inside the unit to lease the unit line. Okay. But that
640 is a square mile?
640 is a square mile.
Okay. That's
and they've got a 10% variance, which is a 704.
Okay.
704-acre unit.
Okay.
Okay. But every oil and gas lease gives them the authority to get a road or a pipeline or something like that.
Right.
Okay. And they may pay people surface damages, they may not. But when you come out of the unit, now you start using eminent domain, or you're buying,
get on,
and you're sending people out to negotiate.
Right.
Okay. And then that's where people say, well, I'll give it to you or take the money. You put it against my fence, but we're not going across the middle of my place.
Right.
Diagonally.
I'm sure that happens quite often.
Yeah. And they said, okay. And then they put it along the edge.
Okay.
Go this way, go south, and then go east.
Right. And just kind of keep cutting through there as they can.
Cutting through there. Okay.
Okay. Well, as we're kind of wrapping up here with
there's a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's do the math. You got your calculator?
Yeah.
Do the 1,700 meters at the 13 cents a month, and see if that doesn't come out with about $240.
Less than that, $221.
Okay, well,
we're really not making.
Now remember,
money.
he's a good part of the county. He's a good part of Harrison County. Okay. You can see even with 19 counties that.
So we'll just do times 19.
Yeah, but see, that's not the whole county. He's just part of the county.
Right.
That still ain't enough money.
No, even if we did that, 221 times 19, well, we could double it.
Yeah, but see, he's just part of the county. He's part of Harrison. He's not all of Harrison. That's part of the Harrison.
Let's say he's a third. Is that fair?
I'd say he's probably closer to a fifth or sixth.
Okay. Well, so times 4. That's 884.
That's just not enough money.
And then if you do that times 19.
Remember, you got retirement, and you got the trucks, and you got the building, and you got the salaries.
You're at $17,000.
That's just not enough money.
5 or 6 people's salaries, truck, building, utilities for the building.
That's just not enough money. That's just not going to cut the mustard.
But it's giving control away.
Yeah, and it's giving people the right to come on your property.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's you putting a meter on your water well.
Yeah.
And if you've got over the flow limit,
right, and
then if you're even under the flow limit, you've got the meter on the deal. He said that my water well man, I talked to him about it. He said they made me put a meter on the. He made me put a meter on the well at the cemetery, and they wasn't trying to water the grass at the cemetery. They had a pavilion that the family sat under, and they put the body in the casket there. And they said they needed to wash the wasp nest off of the bottom of the building.
Had to put a meter on that,
and the bird crap that the birds get underneath the rafters and crap on the cement.
Yeah, and
so they wanted to wash the cement down to make it clean before the family got there, like the day before.
Right.
Okay. And even though it was sub 17.36 gallons per minute, because it was a business, they had to put a meter on it, and that was $600 for a 1-inch meter.
Well, it sounds like this is not the answer to our data center problem.
I don't think so at all.
All right.
It's just not going to get it. And I tell you another thing we didn't talk about. Okay.
And I'm not trying to rush you. I just know we got another meeting to go to here at some point.
Well, I got a while.
Okay. All right.
I got a while. Okay. This map I bought you for you. Okay. Part of Bowie County is in GMA 11, and part of it's in GMA 11, and part of it's in 8, GMA 8, and part of it's in GMA 11. Okay. Well, there's groundwater districts down in Angelina and Nacogdoches County. That's the Piney Woods. And then you've got one that makes up Cherokee and Anderson County, which is Palestine. They're in GMA 11. Okay. And Henderson County, not Henderson, Texas. Henderson County is Athens.
Right.
Okay. And then you've got one at Panola, and that's the one that found my friend. And you've got one at Russ County, which is Henderson. Okay. Now, if you made one with several counties up here, this new one that's proposed, the joint planning, these people can't have with this new one and do exactly what they want to do. They must submit to joint planning.
With the other ones?
With the other ones.
Why is that?
Okay, because that's all spelled out, my friend. What code is that in? Joint planning is chapter 36-108, and the deal spells it out that they can't go rogue and go by themselves and make up their own mind what they're going to do. This new one in 36-303.
So now I just try to keep it simple. Now, not only would we, Bowie County, control our water, we wouldn't. we would give it up to those 19 counties, but then those 19 counties don't even have control of it.
That's right.
They have to give it to the other however many counties.
And then they tell them what to do. And the majority
So
of them,
you're completely losing all control of your water.
You're certainly losing local control. Okay?
This sounds horrible.
Well, that's how it's spelled out. And that's why I'm telling everybody to go read chapter 36.
36 of the Texas Water Code sounds like where we need to be.
Okay. And so these are the codes I'm trying to tell you to read. 36108. You want to write any of this down?
Yep.
36303.
36108.
Mm-hmm.
36303.
And over in GMA 8, since part of Bowie is in 8, okay, there's 11 groundwater districts in it. And they go all the way down to Waco.
So now we're from Bowie County to Waco. We're all going to have to make the same water decisions.
They'll all make the same decisions.
Well, that doesn't
and go forward with those decisions.
Because let me tell you, Waco's climate and our climate and water table, two different things.
How many people you know in Waco is going to help you out?
Yeah, they're going to want some water.
Well, they might. Okay. Now, 36002 explains the limiting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the fees, the in-district fees, are explained in 36205C. And that's where I went over the ag and then the commercial.
All right.
Okay. And then one thing we hadn't covered yet is the export fee. That's where they make some money.
Okay. So selling it out.
So sending it to Dallas or sending it to Amarillo from here.
Or at this point, Austin and Waco.
Or wherever.
Yeah.
Or Houston. Or
Yeah.
San Antonio. Okay. That's where the groundwater district makes money.
Okay.
Well, in a way, that puts the groundwater district kind of like a coyote guarding the hen house.
It sure does.
Have you thought about that?
I know, but I mean, it's looking more and more like it.
Okay. And remember, I told you that on the per 1,000 gallons on the in-district use, on the commercial, it's like 3 cents.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Or very little money.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's 20 cents, and then it goes up a little bit each year. So the second year, it might be 20.6 cents. And the next year, it'll go up by an additional 0.6 of a cent.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. Well, that ends up being, on an acre foot basis, about $65 an acre foot versus 10. So it's 6.5 times more with a drift up provision
than what your commercial rate is.
Okay. Well, who wants to prohibit that when they can't? Because that's their future pay raise.
Yeah. That's how all these people are.
That's where I'm going. The groundwater district has become like the coyote guarding the hen house.
Yeah. Yeah. This just seems crazy to me. I don't know why this has been thought of as a solution, unless it was just sold to seem that way.
Now, do you see why I'm able to go around and defeat these things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people just have to know.
Let me tell you what else has been talked about. Okay. I've been talking to people, and they're telling me, and I've got different county commissioners that will talk to me in different counties.
Uh-huh.
And I know everybody through the politics, and they know me.
Right.
I'm well known.
Okay.
And then having a flamboyant nickname like I do, they don't have any problem remembering me.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to use my last name.
Right.
I call somebody up and I said, "This is Fuzzy."
They know.
And if I'm talking to the secretary and they just said Fuzzy call, well, they know who called.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how many fuzzies anybody's been
It's
there.
a very rare name.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway.
I'll tell you though, I've known 2 different fellas named Catfish.
Well, how about that?
Yeah. I mean, just way off, but I've known 2 different fellas named Catfish.
I knew one fella in Kansas and his name was Breezy.
Okay. There you go.
But it's something we can't talk about on the radio. Because he was breezy.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, go on with it.
You probably already figured it out.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's funny.
So anyway, they telling me that they want to put this thing through where the public never votes on it.
Well, of course.
Well, let me tell you this. When you get something that the public can't vote on and it's never debated in the public square, whether it's good or whether it's bad, you're selling something pretty bad.
That's exactly.
Have you thought about that?
Well, you know, I was having this conversation.
Would you like it if the school board, between just the 7 school board members, with a 4-3 vote, could pass the new school bond, and the public didn't get to vote on the school bond and how big the school was and how elaborate the school was, but everybody in the public was going to pay for the school?
It'd be a problem.
You see what I'm saying? That you don't get to vote on something.
Right.
Okay. And we're supposed to have government for the people and by the people, something you know well.
Well, and
it needs to be discussed and needs to be explained. And when you promoting something where the public's not going to vote on it, and let me tell you what the code says. When you form one, you got to have a vote by the public. Okay.
Which code is that?
Okay. That's all section and code numbers.
Okay.
And it takes 50 signatures to call an election. And then it takes the legislature to meet to say, yes, you can have the election, and here's the dates that you can have the election on. Okay. And so most all election is either the first Saturday in May when the city or the school board runs, or it's the first Tuesday in November. And, you know, and that's when we have our constitutional amendments, or we vote for president or vote for the governor.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or against them.
Yeah. Right.
Or against them. Okay.
We're allowed to do that.
We're allowed to do that. Right here in the good old USA.
That's right. We're just at this time.
Right now. Currently.
Yeah, currently we're allowed to do that.
Okay.
All right.
And there's your election dates right there. So I think if we had this thing right now, the soonest that we'd be voting on it's next November. Now, you might ask me, Fuzz, why do you say that? You go ahead and ask me that.
Fuzz, why do you say that?
Well, the legislature doesn't meet till January.
Right. So they can't make a decision.
Okay. And so when they get started, they don't start with any business the first day.
That's the first month.
They don't do anything for 2 months.
Yeah.
Now, after about 2 months roll by, they start doing something.
Right.
And they only have 140 days.
Right.
Okay. And then they always use the excuse, we run out of time.
Right.
You ever heard that one? We run out of time.
Too.
Yeah, and they always tell you how conservative they were, but they passed more bills to raise more revenue.
Spending more money,
spending more money, and tax more money, and raise more revenue.
Most conservative Congress ever, and it gets farther and farther away.
Farther and farther to the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's what they do in Austin, in the Austin swamp. They come tell us the same thing every time. It was the most conservative session we ever had.
Every time.
And did your school taxes go down, and your city taxes go down, and your county taxes go down? And
none of it.
None of it. Okay.
Did they listen to you?
No. And they always act like they're high and mighty.
Yeah.
So, you know, politicians don't make me very happy.
No.
Okay. They're a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure how necessary. Term limits. And
we got a chance at term limits every time we have an election.
That's right.
But people seem to vote for the one with the most signs up or the most name ID. You know.
That's exactly right.
So anyway, the code calls for an election.
Okay. That's what we need to know then.
Yeah. But they're trying to tell you we're going to pass this. Just the legislature is going to bestow this upon you.
Like we're ruled by somebody. We're not ruled by anybody.
That's not what this code says. So if they're going to go do all these things, they're finna change the code drastically. Now, let me tell you something else they're doing that you don't know about. Okay. Now, I don't know about your county up here, but my county is contributing $1,200 a month to some Austin lawyers, and Gregg County is doing that, and Smith County is doing that, and I believe Marion County just voted to do that, and Upshur County's doing that, and so they're getting a pile of money piled up.
What's it for?
Well, that's a good question. Okay. When we had our fight back in 2010, we had a half-page bill.
Right.
And it was SB 726.
Just real easy.
Real easy. Half page. It says Harrison County is going to have a groundwater district election on May the 8th of 2010. Okay. And the legislature passed that in 2009 in the spring. And the governor signed it. And we had our election in 2010, and me and other people put a stop to it and killed it.
Okay.
We drove a stake in his heart.
Right.
Okay. And it's done. And here we are 16 years later, and I'm a lot older. Like I said, I'm finna be 69, my birthday in September.
Right.
And I'm fighting this again. But
you learned a lot the last time, I'm sure.
Well, I learned a lot when I went down to Shelby and Sabine and San Augustine counties and made a speech in each county in 2013 and helped those people defeat theirs in all 3 counties.
Okay.
And the way theirs was set up, it was a joint 3-way county one. Okay. And I guess we're talking about a joint 19 county one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it could have passed in all 3 counties. It could have been defeated in all 3 counties.
Right.
Okay. It could have passed in 1, or it could have passed in 2 and lost in 1 or lost in 2 of them.
In that case,
there is no other possibility for an outcome. Well, the good people down there went to work, and I made a speech at the Civic Center in 2013 in September, and their election was in November. And about 180 people come to it, and the women of the community cooked all this food up, and they had the best banana pudding I'd ever ate in my life.
I can't trust a potluck.
And when I think of that meeting, I think of the banana pudding.
See, I'm just always worried there's some cat lady.
Okay.
Got a cat in there. Got his hand in that pudding.
I don't know about it. I don't know about it.
I can't trust it. I can't trust some potlucks, Fuzzy.
Hey, man, this was some fantastic banana pudding, man. And 179 of them, after I talked, believed in what I said, and one of them didn't.
There you go.
And I quoted a little scripture, and he said, "What am I going to do?" And I said, "Well, you need to go thy way and sin no more, brother." Turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, that's right.
And he didn't. He didn't. He went away sorrowful.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. I sound like a preacher.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I'm not afraid to tell somebody about finding Jesus.
Guess how bad they defeated it there in Shelby County. The worst I've ever seen anything beat.
Oh, how'd it go down?
What's the worst you've ever heard of anything in your life getting beat at the polls?
If I gave you a number, it'd just be made up. I don't know.
Now, remember this. The county judge and the commissioners were from the 4 side.
Okay. You would think that would get close to...
And little old me come from 3 counties away, okay, and live at the extreme north end of my county. So I had to drive all the way across Harrison and across Panola to get to Shelby.
Yeah.
Panola is Carthage.
Right.
Okay. And I come down to...
Shout out Coach Surratt.
I come down to Shelby and make a speech there. And they only had to go that one time. And I gave them the whole formula, how to beat something and how to organize and how to have a specific purpose committee and raise money. And I brought them one of my signs for them to carry to their sign maker.
Right.
To make their sign just like mine. And I gave them all my ads, copies of my ads, and I gave them copies of the 4 people ads. And I said, this is what to expect to be thrown at you.
Okay.
Okay, because it was thrown at me in Harrison County.
Right.
Okay. So give me a number that you think.
60-40?
No, man.
70-30?
No.
Really? It was worse than 70-30?
A lot worse.
80-20?
A lot worse.
Really?
Go on, keep going.
85-15?
Keep going.
I got to go 90-10.
Keep going.
95-5?
95.5 to 4.5 with the county judge and the 4 commissioners on the half.
That's old-fashioned butt whipping.
That's a complete slaughter.
Yeah. I mean, you never hear of elections.
I asked the head guy, the head knocker. His name was Fred. I said, Fred, how do you feel about your chances tomorrow? This was the day before the election. And me and him were talking on the phone. And he said, Fuzz, we can't find a person that's for it. And if they are, they won't admit that they're for it.
Right.
Okay. Because he had took my ammunition and run with it.
Yeah.
And I said, don't change a thing except change it from Harrison to Shelby.
Right.
And that's about it. And instead of May, it's November.
Right.
And you're not going to pay for your water. You're not going to have people coming on your property, leaving your gate open, your horse get out or your cows get out.
Well, that's
you're not going to have people putting a lock in your gate to get access at any time they want.
Yeah.
and you're not going to pay more tax, and you're totally against this. And 2 years later, the county clerk, and she ran against the county judge and beat him. And all she had to say was, my opponent promoted the Groundwater District.
There you go. All right, Fuzz, let's get out of here. All right, everybody. I appreciate you. Fuzzy, thanks for coming.
I hope I did all right.
I think we did good.
I like to talk.
I do too. All right, everybody. I hope God blesses each and every one of you today.